Hey folks, Mike Caruso with the Fisherman magazine, and today we're on the awesome WorldCat 296. This boat is wide. It's just got this cockpit space that really affords lots of room to sit, to fish, to entertain, as well, really as wide as it is in the aft of the boat. So it's an incredibly spacious boat, but really the thing about catamarans, aside from the space, is the performance. This is an excellent rough water running boat. It's got a real stable feel, whether you're drifting through an inlet or whether you're running through seas or a place where there's boat wakes. This boat has a great characteristic, just a real solid, confident feel. And not only the captain and the crew who's on the boat, but the people who are enjoying seating in the many places to sit. It's an efficient boat. In fact, gets up on plane extremely quickly, as well as being able to get on plane with just one engine. Not a lot of boats can do that. Check it out at one of your boat shows or go to a dealer today. First, let's take a test drive.
The dry weight with the boat and motors is roughly 9,000 pounds. I think we have a stated number of 8,900. And to have a boat of this size and this much room and space, it used to be a rule of thumb of a nautical mile to the gallon was a really good cruise, and we're able with the catamaran hull to we don't require as much torque and horsepower to get the boat up on plane and running, so we can use the 300s in this case and still have a cruise in that 30-mile-an-hour range and do better than 2 nautical miles or 2 miles to the gallon. And so that kind of efficiency is absolutely, it's impressive, especially when you take into account the overall size of the boat that we're on. Standard on all the 296s, we've got locking rod storage off to the port side. You actually access this through the head area, and I can show you that momentarily. But you've got the rod storage, which you come in through the head, and then you can store your rods. I believe it'll take in excess of 7-foot rods all the way through there, or you can double it as a locker for you. On the starboard side, we have an insulated tub, which can be used for storage, or if you wanted to use it as a fish box, it is insulated and it drains overboard, so everything's nice and clean. Plenty of seating. Plenty of room. If you did want to use this as a casting platform, tons of stability. You have the optional bow table for the cruiser-oriented consumer, and then as well as the seagrass flooring to kind of add that extra cruising-friendly features. One thing that we did new with the 296 that we've started with any new model is before we actually build a boat, we do a finite movement analysis with an engineering firm. So we do that with all of our windshields and all of our hardtops and our hardtop frames. You'll note the new 296 has an absolutely beautiful hand-finished surfboard style hardtop. This particular one features the new petrol blue hull color, where we mimic the hull color underneath the hardtop. And then you've got the framing, which just absolutely blends well with the shear that we've integrated on the 296 hull. So the profile of this, and you'll see on some of the running footage that you've done, is just the boat looks absolutely spectacular. As we move back into the cockpit area, we've got the ability to completely shut off if you're any kind of foggy condition, inclement weather, maybe an early season adventure, or trying to extend that season out, where you're in cooler weather, you can completely shut off any of the environment when you're running with the wind door on the front, as well as the windshield, and then with 3-sided enclosures, you're able to really protect yourself in here and extend that boating and fishing season. As we move back, one of the greatest features with the new 296 dual console is we have redone the dash on the original 295 and really made it a much richer look, where we've incorporated the cleaner dash, fantastic visibility. One of the greatest things about a catamaran is no matter what RPMs you're running, visibility from the helm or seating on the port side is fantastic. You really never lose sight of the horizon. It's a very comforting feeling. Coupled with the stability of the catamaran, it really provides a very comfortable ride, a very safe, secure feeling, and that ability to see the horizon at any given RPM range makes just operating the boat a joy and a pleasure to run. New LeBrock helm seats on the helm side as well as the port side. New battery management system underneath the port side. And then these same boxes that the seating is mounted on, we lowered in the back to offer additional aft-facing seating. Underneath the aft-facing seats, we have a 25-gallon live well off to the port side with ice blue gel coat in there, run overboard. It's insulated if you wanted to use that as a tub. And off to the starboard side, we've got, I believe it is a 150 quart insulated tub as well, drains overboard. So if you want to use this as storage or if you want to use this as a fish box, in addition to the one that you've got in the bow area. Before we get in the cockpit, I'd really like to point out one of the greatest things about the catamaran hull in a dual console is the headroom that you find in the port side head area. So to find another dual console in the market with this amount of headroom is really not going to be found in anything under in excess of 30-some feet. So the catamaran hull provides a tremendous amount of depth down port and starboard side, obviously, and we take advantage of that with the dual console setup. That same depth that you find on the port side, we have on the starboard side. As we move back into the cockpit, another thing you find with the 296, which makes it just the perfect combination of family fishing boat, even the hardcore fishing guy who also has a couple other family members that need to enjoy the boat on Sundays when they're not fishing. Tons of room, tons of space, huge cockpit area. Undoubtedly one of the largest cockpits in that 29-foot dual console market. Very comfortable coaming height, full coaming pads all the way around. I mentioned earlier your aft-facing seats. We also have additional jump seats in the back of the boat. These jump seats can fold up and lay flush with the transom. If you are fishing and you just want to have 360-degree back here across the back of the boat. I may have mentioned earlier, but we incorporated the rod holders that also have the drink holder as part of that. Believe we have 3 per side in the back. Underneath the coaming, we have included a horizontal rod storage. One of the nicest features with any of the catamarans is the width of the motors, and the width of the motors allows us a number of benefits made much easier to maneuver in tight spots when the motors are that far apart. So your traditional monohull outboard setup with a twin engine application, you basically would have motors 28.5 inches apart, and 2 outboard props 28.5 inches apart really doesn't give you that ability to swing the boat with one motor in forward and one in reverse. When you spread them like this, it's amazing how much you can maneuver the boat without ever actually touching the steering wheel. So a huge benefit with the catamaran. We're in a 9,000-pound boat. By the time you fuel it up and by the time you put gear and lead sinkers and everything you're after for a day offshore, you're going to be well in excess of 10,000 pounds. We are able to run this boat with the Yamaha 300s. We don't have to utilize a pair of V8s, so we're able to still have a boat that operates in a wide open throttle situation in the mid-50s, but more importantly than that, you're able to cruise and make more than 2 miles to the gallon, and to get more than 2 miles per gallon in a boat this size with this much space and this much offshore capability really extends that range and allows you to use it in a number of situations where the fuel economy is just amazing. So just one more piece of the catamaran puzzle that makes it so much easier to use. The other piece that we've got in the back is the dive ladder, and that's standard on all of our boats. So we utilize that gap between the two motors to put probably one of the nicest dive ladders in the industry. It's actually not a ladder, it's more like a set of steps. So that angle that you see with the ladder folded up is the angle at which it is if you dropped it down into the water. So really, regardless of how athletic you are, trying to pull somebody vertically in between an outboard and the side of a boat is completely gone. You're able to simply swim up to the back of the boat and grab a handrail and use them as steps to walk yourself out of the waters. With that, I think we've spent enough time looking at it here at the dock. Let's get in the boat and go realize just how much fun it is to run one of the catamarans that we built in the new 296 dual console.